There are moments in life when the words of people cut deeper than any wound, when their actions make you feel small, unwanted, and broken. You try your best, yet they misunderstand you. You stay silent, yet they speak against you. You remain sincere, yet they doubt your intentions. In those moments, it feels like the world is against you. But what if those very moments are not meant to destroy you, but to elevate you? What if every time someone tries to bring you down, Allah is preparing to raise you higher than you ever imagined? One of the most powerful realities you must understand is that tests through people are part of Allah's divine plan. It is not sluchino, it is not random, and it is never outside of His knowledge. When someone speaks against you, when they misunderstand you, when they attempt to damage your name or break your spirit, it may feel deeply personal, but in truth, it is part of a much bigger picture that Allah has written specifically for you. Sometimes Allah uses people as a means of testing your patience. Not because He wants to see you suffer, but because He wants to elevate you to a level you could never reach without that test. You might have strong ibadat, you might pray, you might fast, but there are certain darajat that are only attained through tahmul of hurt, tahmul of dhulm, and tahmul of being treated unfairly by others. These are not easy tests, and that is exactly why their reward is azim. Think about how often people's words can shake you. It's a single comment, a rumor, a look of disrespect. It can stay in your heart for days. But Allah sees how you respond in those unseen moments. He sees whether you choose revenge or restraint, whether you answer back with harshness or maintain your dignity. And it is in those quiet internal battles that your rank is being written. At times, you may wonder why certain individuals keep appearing in your life only to hurt you or discourage you. You question why Allah allows them to speak or act in such ways. But what you do not always see is that these people are not placed in your life to break you. They are placed to reveal you. They expose your level of patience, your level of reliance on Allah, and your ability to control your nafs when it is provoked. There is also wisdom in how these tests detach your heart from people. When everything is going well and everyone is praising you, it is very easy to become dependent on their approval. You begin to measure your worth through their eyes. But when those same people turn against you, when their support disappears, you are forced to turn back to Allah alone. You begin to realize that the only consistent source of validation, peace and honor is Him. And this is where true strength is built, not when everyone is supporting you, but when no one is, and you still stand firm because you know Allah is with you. When people try to bring you down, it strips away illusions. It teaches you that people change, opinions shift, and loyalty can be fragile. But Allah remains constant, just, and fully aware of every dhulm done to you. There are also moments when the test through people is actually a protection. Someone may speak against you and close a door you desperately wanted to walk through, but Allah knows that door was not khair for you. Another may try to damage your reputation in a place you wanted to belong, but Allah knows that environment would have harmed your deen or your future. What feels like rejection from people is sometimes redirection from Allah. And in all of this, there is a deeper purification taking place. Every insult you swallow for the sake of Allah, every moment you hold back your anger, every time you choose silence over argument, it cleanses your heart, it refines your character, it makes you stronger, calmer, and more connected to your Creator. These tests are not easy and they are not meant to be, but they are precise, they are measured, and they are given only to those who have the potential to rise above them. One of the deepest struggles many people fall into today is seeking validation from others instead of relying on Allah. It becomes almost natural for a person to measure their worth through the approval of people, what they say, how they look at you, whether they praise you or ignore you. Slowly, without even realizing it, the heart starts becoming attached to opinions that were never meant to define your reality in the first place. When you depend on people for validation, your emotions become unstable. One day you feel valued because someone praised you, and the next day you feel broken because someone criticized you. Your happiness starts rising and falling with human words that change constantly. And this is one of the most exhausting ways to live, because people are not thabit, constant. Their moods change, their perspectives shift, and their judgments are often influenced by their own experiences, insecurities, and misunderstandings. Allah, on the other hand, is Al-Haq, the most truthful, the one whose judgment is absolute and never flawed. When He honors someone, no one can truly humiliate them. And when He tests someone, no one can remove that test until the lesson is complete. Yet the heart often forgets this and starts running behind acceptance from creation rather than the Creator. There is a subtle but dangerous shift that happens when validation from people becomes more important than validation from Allah. A person may begin to compromise their values just to be accepted. They may stay silent when they should speak truth because they fear rejection. They may exaggerate their image or hide their struggles just to appear successful in the eyes of others. Slowly they begin living a double life, one for people and one for Allah, until the concern for people overshadows sincerity itself. But the reality is that no matter how much approval you receive from people, it will never fill the emptiness that comes from being disconnected from Allah's pleasure. 1,000 compliments cannot heal a heart that is empty of divine connection. And on the other hand, even if people misunderstand you, reject you, or ignore you, if Allah is pleased with you, then you are not truly losing anything that matters. One of the greatest forms of freedom is when a person reaches a point where they no longer need constant validation from others to feel worthy. They understand that their worth was already determined by Allah when He created them. They realize that honor and disgrace are not controlled by society, but by the one who controls all hearts. There are moments in life when you will do something sincerely, yet people will not appreciate it. You will try your best, yet someone will still criticize you. If your heart is attached to their approval, you will feel crushed every time that happens. But if your heart is attached to Allah, then even silence from people will not shake you, because you know that Allah sees what others fail to see. This shift changes everything. You stop performing for people and start living for Allah. You stop chasing applause and start chasing sincerity. You stop measuring success by how people react and start measuring it by whether Allah is pleased with your intention and effort. And in that state, something powerful happens internally. You become less reactive. You stop over-explaining yourself to those who are not willing to understand. You stop bending your identity just to fit into places where you were never meant to belong. You begin to carry a quiet confidence that is not loud, not arrogant, but deeply rooted in the awareness that Allah is enough as a witness, as a judge, and as a supporter. Patience in the face of humiliation and injustice is one of the most difficult yet most beloved qualities in the sight of Allah. When a person is wronged, insulted, or treated unfairly, the natural reaction of the heart is to respond immediately. The ego wants revenge, the tongue wants to defend, and the emotions want to strike back with equal or even greater force. But in that very moment, the believer is tested, not in how loudly they can respond, but in how silently they can endure for the sake of Allah. Humiliation from people has a way of piercing the heart in a very deep manner. It is not just the action itself, but the feeling of being misunderstood, being underestimated, or being treated as if your worth has no value. In those moments, the shaitan whispers that silence is weakness and that responding aggressively will restore dignity. But what is often forgotten is that true dignity is not restored by lowering yourself to the level of oppression, but by rising above it through patience and reliance upon Allah. Allah repeatedly reminds that He is fully aware of what the oppressors do. Nothing escapes His knowledge. Every word spoken against you, every false accusation, every unfair treatment is recorded. Even when no one else sees your pain, Allah sees it clearly. And when a believer holds themselves back from reacting unjustly, when they restrain their anger for the sake of Allah, that restraint is not weakness. It is strength that most people fail to recognize. There are moments when injustice feels unbearable, especially when it comes from people who are close, or when it happens repeatedly without any visible change. The heart begins to feel heavy, and the mind starts questioning why patience is required when the pain is so real. But patience in such moments is not passive acceptance of wrongdoing. It is active trust in Allah's justice. It is a conscious decision to leave your matter in the hands of the one who never forgets, never overlooks, and never delays without wisdom. One of the most beautiful aspects of patience is that it transforms the heart of the one who practices it. At first, patience feels like restraint, like holding back something that wants to explode. But over time, it becomes peace. The heart begins to detach from the need for immediate revenge because it starts witnessing how Allah handles matters in ways far greater than human response could ever achieve. What was once a source of pain becomes a source of strength. Many times, Injustice from people is not just about the action itself, but about what it awakens inside you. It reveals your attachment to your ego, your sensitivity to opinion, and your expectation of fairness from those who are not perfect themselves. Through patience, these attachments are slowly broken. The heart begins to shift its reliance away from people and towards Allah alone. There is also a hidden honor in enduring injustice with patience. While people may think they are lowering your status, in reality Allah is raising it in ways unseen. The believer who remains calm under oppression is not forgotten. Every tear that is held back, every insult that is swallowed, every moment of silence chosen for the sake of Allah becomes part of a record that is honored in a way beyond human understanding. And often, what people intend as humiliation becomes a means of purification. It removes arrogance from the heart, softens pride, and teaches dependence upon Allah in a way comfort never could. Through patience, the believer learns that their worth is not defined by how others treat them, but by how Allah rewards their response. Injustice may shake the body, but patience strengthens the soul. And while people may think they are breaking you down, what is actually happening is a rebuilding that is far deeper, far stronger, and far more lasting than anything visible to the eye in the end. What a believer comes to understand through all of this is that life is not controlled by people, their opinions, or their actions, but by the decree of Allah alone. People may try to bring you down, misunderstand you, or delay your success in ways that feel unfair, but none of it can override what Allah has already written for you. Every test through people, every struggle for validation, every moment of patience in injustice, and every delay in timing is not random. It is all part of a carefully designed journey meant to shape your heart and elevate your rank. When you stop seeking worth from creation and start seeking it from the Creator, your entire perspective changes. The pain caused by people becomes lighter because you realize they are not the source of your honor or disgrace. The need for constant approval fades because you understand that Allah's approval is the only one that truly matters. The urge to react in anger weakens because you begin to trust that Allah's justice is far greater than anything you could enforce yourself. And when you learn to be patient in humiliation, to trust Allah in delay, and to remain firm when others try to break you, something remarkable happens within your heart. You become stable even when life is unstable. You become calm even when circumstances are chaotic. You become strong even when others expect you to fall. Allah does not waste a single tear, a single moment of patience, or a single act of restraint done for His sake. Everything is recorded, everything is seen, and everything is being transformed into a means of elevation that will only be fully understood when the truth of every situation is revealed.